All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy CB checking in. And guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon for post notifications when I drop new content. So let's talk about it. We have ourselves a huge heavyweight fight coming up tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow at Wembley Stadium in London, England. And I gotta say, I'm a little bit ashamed of myself for not talking about this fight more. I have in mind of, kind of talking more about UK fighters, and I just tend to not do it. I don't want to be that American guy who only thinks American fighters are the best fighters out there. We have great fighters in the UK. People in the UK are some of the biggest boxing fans in the world. So shout out to you guys. And I do love the way you guys stand behind your fighters, how proud you guys are of Anthony Joshua and what he's been able to accomplish at the heavyweight division. So I do kind of envy that, because we don't really do that here in America like I think we should. But I admire that. Japan's another one. They really put Nui on a pedestal, and I just envy that. But hopefully we can get it together here in America. But this fight, guys, this is a big fight. Fight with huge implications. And I think it's a 50-50 fight. I know some people are going to disagree with me on that because, people love Anthony Joshua. But I really do like Anthony Joshua. I really do think he's a great fighter. But I think Daniel Dubois is not to be overlooked. I think he's not to be overlooked. So Daniel Dubois, he is the IBF champion. Keep in mind, so Anthony Joshua will be fighting for his IBF title. Now, we know Anthony Joshua is a two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. So if he wins this time, he will be a three-time heavyweight champion. Not a unified champion, but a three-time heavyweight champion. And Daniel Dubois, of course, was elevated to the IBF champion after Alexander Usyk vacated the belt after becoming undisputed by defeating Tyson the Gypsy King Fury. So a lot of people are saying that Daniel Dubois is a quote-unquote email champion. He's not a real champion. He's a paper champion. But I think he is a force to be reckoned with, in my opinion. So let's look at the tail of the tape between the two guys, and I'm going to try to give my thoughts on this fight. So let's pull up Anthony Joshua first. Anthony Joshua, 28-3, guys, 34 years of age, from the United Kingdom, of course, 6'6". And let's take a look at what he's done as of late. Let's go back a little bit further here. Let's go back to the two losses. He took two back-to-back losses, of course, to Alexander Usyk, and a lot of people thought Anthony Joshua was done. Now, this has happened before in the past. You guys remember he was defeated by Andy Ruiz, but then he came back that same year, later on that year, and got his get back and got his titles back from Andy Ruiz. So after he took these two losses to Alexander Usyk, a lot of people had written Anthony Joshua off. At the time, to me, Anthony Joshua seemed a little bit, unsure of himself, stiff and robotic, and, just hesitant, at times to me. But he came back with not one, not two, not three, but 4 wins in a row. And he seemed to change up his aggression, I would say. He's being more aggressive. And he got that win over Jermaine Franklin. I think he got a KO win over Robert Helenius. Otto Wylien, I think he stopped him in the corner. I think he didn't even come back out to fight. And of course, we remember that devastating knockout of Francis Ngannou. How can you guys forget that? That was absolutely incredible. So he's got 4 wins back-to-back. He's looking more dangerous than ever. Strong fighter, guys. He knows how to box. And he's very aggressive and power in both hands. So, yeah, Anthony Joshua is back. And, you can't deny that, he's one of the top guys, in my opinion. I had my doubts back in the day when he was going at it with Deontay Wilder. Of course, I'm an American. I'm going to be that way. But Anthony Joshua has proved a lot of Americans wrong when it comes to him actually being one of the best heavyweights out there. We don't really talk about Deontay Wilder as much anymore. Deontay Wilder had a couple of back-to-back losses, and it's kind of like he's faded off into the sunset. Will we see him again? It's possible, but we'll see. But let's look at his opponent, of course. Daniel Dubois, who, I'm a big fan of his as well. 21-2, guys. He's the younger of the two. He's 27 years of age, from the United Kingdom, 6'5", and he's had his adversities too that he's faced. So let's look at his box record here. The couple of losses he took here. He took that one to Joe Joyce, where a lot of people accused him of quitting in that fight. I think he did have an eye injury in the fight. The loss to Alexander Usyk. Now that was kind of controversial. I can't remember what round it was where he dropped Usyk, and some people thought it was a low blow, and some people said it wasn't a low blow. Who knows? I'm more inclined to say it wasn't a low blow. I thought that he possibly got robbed in that fight, but everybody doesn't agree with that. But anyway, he went on to lose the fight. He was stopped by Alexander Usyk, and a lot of people say he gave up in the fight. I don't know if his heart wasn't in there, and I think a lot of people had written him off, but he came back, guys. He came back with a vengeance, tearing through Jarrell Big Baby Miller. That was a hell of a fight. Jarrell Miller was talking a lot of trash leading up to that fight, and I was believing it myself. I know a lot of you guys were too. And he stopped Jarrell Miller. He stopped that big baby. That was amazing. And then he comes back, and then he beats Filip Hrgović to become the IBF interim champion. Great fight. That was a dog fight. That was a dog fight. I knew that would be a great fight. The only thing I didn't like in that fight was how much Dubois was getting hit with that right hand. If anything, that bothers me when it comes to Dubois. He is a solid fighter. He has a great 1-2, lots of power, very athletic, but taking that punishment, and he does have a chin on him. And you guys know he was getting hit with some bombs in that fight. But that worries me when you're going into the ring with a guy like Anthony Joshua, who has that, one-punch knockout power. He folded Francis Ngannou like a chair, guys. That was one of the most devastating shots I've ever seen. So that does worry me going into the fight. I know he's a dog. I know he's the younger of the two, and I know it seems like, it's his time. It feels like it's his time, but I've learned not to underestimate Anthony Joshua. When you think Anthony Joshua's down and out, he comes back and he surprises everyone. And I'm going to lean more towards Anthony Joshua. I would say winning the fight, even though I think I like the underdog. I like the underdog. I like Daniel Dubois. I want the best for him in this fight, but I got to be honest with my pick. I think Joshua stops Dubois late, guys. Probably, I'm going to say round 10. Round number 10, he stops Dubois because of Dubois not being able, his defense not being so tight, unless he's worked on that. But can you really work on that after one fight where you've really been, exposed for getting hit with a right hand? I don't know. He's going to revert back to what he normally does. He hasn't had enough time, I would think, to completely correct that flaw in his game. So I'm giving it Anthony Joshua 10th round stoppage, guys, even though I'm reluctant to say it because I want Dubois to be successful in the fight. But anyway, that is my prediction. You guys let me know what you think about this fight. Do you like this fight? Do you believe it has huge implications for both fighters? You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comment section. It's the CMB. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. And I'm out. Peace.